Welcome to the PropTech channel. This is a platform that showcases leaders, founders, game changers, innovators, and the solution they bring to the real estate industry. This is where you will hear the latest news, trends. You heard it first on the PropTech channel. Today's episode is how is PropTech transforming the real estate industry? And we have a special guest. He is a man of vision. He is the CEO and founder of Raven. And Raven was born the tenant experience automated management systems or teams. It is a structured platform that offers digital solutions for tenants through a mobile phone interface, supported by a web application for property managers called Raven PM 365. This brought to life a seamless conduit for efficient communication, increased management visibility, and a more fluid service fulfillment execution path. I'm proud to introduce the CEO and founder of Raven, Ryan Estrella. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, AJ. Thanks for having us here.
It's a pleasure to have you. And as I said, you are a man of vision. So I'm excited to talk to you about the company that you have started. So let's talk more about that. What is Raven? And today's episode is about PropTech transforming the real estate industry. So let's start with you sharing more information about Raven. And when did the aha moment come about?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, Raven is, as you mentioned, a platform that integrates property and asset management across different ecosystems. But for us, actually, Raven used to be a business unit of our real estate firm way back 2017. So this was obviously pre-pandemic time. So we wanted to solve a lot of our issues and bridge the gap between our property managers and our residents and our tenants. So we thought of focusing more on customer experience and really innovating and creating tech-enabled solutions for our residents, because we developed in the north of Quezon City. It's a great area. Medium-rise buildings there for us, but we're up against the big boys now. There are big developers out there, and so we really started to focus more on repeat sales now by taking care of our residents and our tenants. So that's how it was created as a business unit, and eventually, we were solving something bigger than ourselves. The pandemic has hastened a lot of our efforts in the space. And of course, we found ourselves very relevant now. We made a lot of headway in terms of these innovations. And, we realized our pain point was the pain point of practically the whole real estate industry. So that's the brief history of how we created and why we created Raven.
Now that actually tells me why you guys were able to develop a multi-faceted tech solution, because you came from the industry, just like what you mentioned. I didn't know that about Raven.
Yeah, actually, we have been in the construction and real estate ever since. Now, my dad is an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, my passion is really to create things from scratch, and
Mm-hmm.
and our core competence really is to look at the little details here and there. And yeah, that's Raven actually has that same mindset to really try to understand where our customers are, focus on the customers, and try to make things more efficient, not just for them, but for the admin and the owner side, who will be able to serve them more efficiently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Ryan, there's a lot of talk about PropTech transforming the real estate industry. Talking about efficiency and all of these things, right? So how is Raven helping in the transformation of the real estate industry? How is your technology helping in this aspect?
Oh, yeah, as I mentioned a while ago. So the pandemic has hastened all of these things for us. No? And I think we weren't talking about PropTech a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, this is really very new, no? As recent as 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
But the thing is, no, because of the pandemic, we've consumed probably 10 years of digitalization and automation and innovation in a span of 2 years because everybody was scrambling for solutions. And I think that's where we come in, no, as Raven. When we saw this pre-pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and then the lockdown happened, and then the property managers became frontliners because everybody's at home. So these solutions, these technologies that have to be integrated to other solutions out there that came up
Mm-hmm.
is vital because the prop tech industry actually is a small industry for now,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of integrations when you look at the other ecosystems like the fintech. You know, it's all aligned because at the end of the day, you try to open up your solutions to other solutions out there which are not your core,
Right.
but can be integrated just because you're a platform. And I think that's where the strength of the Raven solutions are. No? We've
Right.
created a platform that basically connects the four basic pillars, no, in a property that we have identified. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the suppliers, and the merchants, the owners, and the most important one is the tenants and the users.
Yeah, I actually like that your aim is to future-proof property management, and not just property management, but asset management, facilities management, and other related sectors across industries. And just like what you mentioned, you wanna cater a solution for all of the part of the community of the users, right? Which is great. um Another question that I have for you, Rai, is with the emergence of web 3.0, what applications can this new technology bring to the table of PropTech?
Web 3.0, wow, very interesting. Actually, our CTO, Paul Soliman, would always tell us that, as a technology, as a solution, you have to be able to continuously integrate and continuously develop, no, your
Mm-hmm.
platform. It's, in short, it's a CI/CD
Mm-hmm.
architecture for us.
Right.
Web 3, um, well, I'll try to explain this as simple as possible because I'm not tech savvy like our CTO, but we'll go into blockchain. So what that means for us as an industry, just an example, is we will enter eventually into smart contracts, smart documentations. No? We're talking about land titles, we're talking about deed of sales, we're talking about all of those vital documents for a certain property that will be part of the blockchain. No? So that everything now will be seen by those stakeholders that need to see it, aside from the owner, government regulatory, and all of that. And I think that's where we're going. No? Crypto payments is also another arena which we're looking at. No? Because we have a billing module inside our real estate firm, of course, we get fiat money for that. No? By integrating it to Gcash, DragonPay, etc. But eventually, we all know that the next fiat, in a way, will be the crypto. So we're also ready for that. We're also ready for that as a technology, wherein we will be able to integrate our payment gateways to cryptocurrency.
That's very nice. And because fintech and PropTech, they have adopted this in various cases. So I think that it's good that we are also prepared for the Web 3.0. In
Yeah.
terms of in terms of regulation, because this is what PropTech does, right? So we initiate policies, and we have a very close engagement with the government agencies to help us and support us in coming up with incentives or policies that will help the real estate industry. In terms of regulation, what would be the regulatory support needed to enable growth in the PropTech scene? What do you see?
Well, AJ, we've been a beneficiary of some of these government support. Like, for example, for us, we applied as a pioneering technology to the Board of Investments, and we were granted a 4-year income tax holiday for our products.
Nice.
And for us startups, that's huge, diba? We all know that technologies like ours, it's really hard, especially for our country, who is not that open to adapting to innovations like these. But government supporting in terms of taxation is huge. That's one. Next one, I think the government should look into an awareness campaign for developers, for LGUs, for other types of properties, wherein they really put technology at the forefront, innovation at the forefront, especially for PropTech, because property is one of the most vital industries out there, along with fintech. And I think if the government has that mindset for its constituents or its municipalities to really open up to these kinds of technologies and give support to innovations like ours, like Raven and all of us here, I think that's going to be huge for the country, because they play a very important role, even with regards to government banks who are opening up a lot of these lines and loans to innovations. I think that's also a big help and a huge boost to the sector, because what we're seeing right now in terms of the VC funds, they're mostly private. They're mostly private, and if you go to other countries, you'll see that the government invests in technologies like these, primarily because it goes back to them.
Right.
They see a lot of benefit in that. And yeah, I think that's one of the things top of my mind that the government can do for us.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, and we'll definitely share that suggestion, right? um, Also, right, we have a lot of listeners from the startup community, fintech and proptech. What would be your advice? If you probably have been asked this question many times, but seeing the growth of Raven, back in 2017 to 2022, I think you are in a position to give some advice to startup. So what would be your advice?
Yeah, thank you for that. But basically, I think the same advice that we give ourselves, day in and day out. In our team, we always say, we should never stop learning, especially for innovations like these, because the moment you stop learning is the moment you stop innovating. To be honest, we're in a very, very challenging sector, especially as I mentioned in our country. These conglomerates, these clients, or even the little properties out there would look into every nook and cranny of expense, and if you try to show them technologies that have a little bit of effect on their bottom line, and that's a no right away. But if you try to make them see the bigger picture of things, the bigger picture, I think that's where the thrust to future-proof communities will come in eventually. Many years ago, the people didn't know that they needed a car. They just wanted a faster horse. Diba? So when these inventions, the Fords came in, oh, we need this. This is something that we could use. And in a lot of ways, it's the same. It's the same here. People don't really know right now what they need in terms of the space, but just let them see it. Let them know that the old way of doing things is really obsolete. There's a lot of repetition there. There's a lot of redundancy. You do these things with these new technologies out here, integrate it to the other amazing technologies out there, and that's the future.
Boom. Yes. You know what? The other thing that I really like about Raven is your a culture of collaboration, right? Like you are open to, the word competition is not in your vocabulary because for you guys, it's about collaboration. It's about supporting each other. Yeah. So can you invite them to be a partner of Raven?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Now we focus more on customers than on competition. Actually, the more we see competitors out there, the more we learn from them, and hopefully, in a lot of ways, they learn from us as well. But those of you who are also into innovations, especially for this space, started with this. For us, we're now venturing into other types of properties. We're now into schools and retails, retails that retail establishments. Now that the world is slowly opening up, so for those of you who have innovations out there, please feel free to collaborate with us. We'd like to learn from you, as hopefully you learn from us, and let's all improve our country for the better.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And that's the very reason why the PropTech Consortium of the Philippines was formed, because our mission is to unite everybody in one community, in one ecosystem. And we continue to support each other. And we're really, really glad that Raven is part of the ecosystem. So thank you for the trust that you've also given us, Ryan. So yeah, I think I'm sure there would be more questions along the way. And if there's a need for a part 2, we're going to do that. Thank you so much for your time, Ryan. And any last message for our audience?
Oh, I just want to thank you. We're full of gratitude for inviting us here. Thank you so much, AJ. We're blessed as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. More power, and I'll see you around. Thank you. And that's Ryan Estrella, CEO and founder of Raven.